Hello everyone. So the today's topic is Unix system architecture. This is our lecture number 2 of subject Unix and shell programming, and the subject code is MCA 501. Myself Rahul Yadav, assistant professor in Department of Computer Science and Application under the School of Computer Application. So as we have discussed in the last session about the features of the Unix operating system, now today we will discuss about the structure of the Unix operating system. So basically the Unix operating system, it has been divided into the layers. Okay, and these layers, they will be independent to each other, and each layer will have its different functionalities. Okay. So basically it has the kernel, shells, command utilities, applications, and the hardware. Okay, so this is the basic structure of the Unix system, and each layer will have its own functionalities. So today we will going to discuss about the Unix system structure and the functionality of the each layer. Okay, now so we will move to the next slide. So this is the topics that we are going to discuss in the today's lecture. The first one is the prerequisite for the topic. The next one is the problem objective. After that we will discuss about the effective learning. Okay. Now we have the main topic, the main contents of the today's lecture, that will be the architecture of the Unix operating system. Okay, and we will discuss about the components. So the first components is the kernel, next we have the shell, then we have the command utilities, and the last topic is the file and the directories. After the completion of these topics, we have some assignment questions that you have to solve. After that we have the learning outcomes and the references, okay, for your further reading. If you have any further requirement for that particular topic, so you can go to the reference section, and from there you will get some online websites or some reference of the books have been given. Okay, now so we will move to the next slide, that is your prerequisite of the topic. Now so before starting the today's lecture or the today's session, you must aware about the functioning of the operating systems, as in the previous classes or in the previous semester you have already learned about the operating systems. Okay, so you all are familiar with the operating system and what are the functionalities of the operating systems. Okay, but now today we will focusing on the Unix operating systems. Okay, and the next thing is that you must aware about the architecture of the computer systems. Okay, so these are the two basic prerequisites for the today's topic. Now so what is the objective of the today's lecture? So the first thing is that you all must aware about the Unix operating system structure. That means how the Unix operating system it will work, and how the functionalities of each layer they can be performed. Okay, the second thing is that you will know about the internal architecture of the Unix operating system. Okay, and how this operating system it will work, and it will communicate with the each layer to perform a particular operation. Okay, if we have given some set of commands, then how these commands they can be executed, and how each layer they will be communicated with each other to perform the operations. Okay, and the last thing that you must aware about the shells and the types of the shells. Okay, so these are the basically objective of the today's lecture. Now we will move to the next topic, that is the student effective learning outcome. Okay, so these are the few points or the learning outcomes after the completion of the lecture. Okay, so you will go through that now. So here we have the system architecture. Okay, so the Unix system architecture it will basically divided into some layers, or it will consist of the components, and the components were hardware, kernel, shell, and the file structures. Okay, so and each layer it will provide its own functionalities. If we look at the diagram here, so this is the diagram. Here it will be divided into the layers. Okay, so the innermost layer is your hardware, then after that we have kernel, then we have shell, and the outermost layer is your application programs. Okay, so in this way the Unix structure that has been divided. So if we look at the diagram, at the center of the diagram we have the hardware. Okay, and that will provide the operating system with its basic services. Okay, now so after that we have another layer, that is your kernel. Okay, so what is the functionalities of the kernel is, so basically the kernel is the main component which interact directly with the hardware. Okay, so it is the core of the operating system. Okay, and it will directly interact with the hardware. It basically the kernel is the collection of the routines and the functions. Okay, that will be written in the C language. So when the system is booted, or it will communicate with the hardware, so what happens, the kernel will be loaded into the memory. Okay, and the kernel will isolate itself from the user programs, and the programs are basically independent of the hardware systems. Okay, and because of that it makes the unique operating system to execute on different machines, or we can say that it will make the programs independent of the hardware. Okay, so there are some basic functionalities of the kernels like memory management, process scheduling. So that all we will discuss in the later sections. So this is the basic functionalities that our kernel will provide. Now the next we have the shell. Okay, so shell basically interact with the user, and the shell is act as an command interpreter. Okay, so it act as a interface between the user and the kernel. Okay, so we can execute multiple shells. Okay, in the case of the Unix operating systems, but only one kernel should be running at the time. Okay, now the next we have the application programs and the file systems. Okay, so now these are the main components. First one is the kernel, then we have the shell, then commands and the utilities, and in the end we have the file and directories. So kernel is basically the name of your Unix operating systems, and the shell, it is the command interpreter that will be used by the Unix operating systems, and after that we have the command and the utilities. Okay, so these are basically, utilities are basically the Unix commands, and the application programs, they will be like word processor, spreadsheets, or we have some database management systems. Okay, so in the case of the Unix operating system, the user, they will run either a utility or they will execute the application programs with the help of the shell. Okay, now and in the end we have the file system and the directories. Okay, so file system and directories, they will basically defines that how the data, they can be stored in the Unix system. Okay, so in the case of the Unix operating system, the data can be stored in a hierarchical manner, like a tree structure that we have read in the data structure. Okay, if you remember the structure of the tree that has been discussed in the data structure, it will be like we have a root node on the top. Okay, and after that we have some multiple nodes that will be connected to the root node, and these nodes are called as the leaf nodes. Okay, so in this way the file systems or the directories, they can be arranged in the case of the Unix operating system. Okay, so one by one we will discuss the functionalities of each layer in detail. That means what are the functionalities of the kernel, what are the functionalities of the shell, what are the command utilities, and the file directories. Okay, now so the first thing is the Unix kernel. Okay, so if you look at the kernel, so basically the kernel is the central core that will directly interact with the hardware system. So sometimes the kernel is also known as the heart of the Unix operating system. Okay, so basically when the system is booted first time, so the kernel will be read into the memory, okay, and it will remains inside the memory until the system is running. So what the kernel will do, the kernel will basically forms an interface between the hardware and the shell. So the kernel will basically collection of the routines and the functions that will be written inside the kernel in C language. Okay, so this kernel, it will communicate with the hardware and the application programs. They will access the kernel with the help of the set of functions, and these functions are basically known as the system calls. Okay. So how the kernel will work? The kernel will consult the data tables and it will allocate the resources to the programs. Okay, and it will also manages the exchange of data with the hardware. So if we take an example, if a program request for a file service, okay, so how the kernel will basically work? Okay, so the first of all, it gives a system call, and after that the kernel will check for the disk drive, okay, to fetch the data from the file, and it will transfer that data into the buffer. Okay, and finally the program, it will collect the data. Okay, so in this way the communication between the hardware and the kernel will take place with the help of the system calls. So there are different functionalities of the kernel that will be provided by it, like the kernel will do the task of the memory management, like it will decide the memory by allocating the memory to the process, and it will decide the priorities for the processes. Okay, that means if we have the multiple processes at the same time, so it will decide the priority which particular process will execute first and which process will execute next. So these type of operations, they can be performed by the kernel. Okay, so it will perform the memory management, it will perform the process scheduling, okay, and it will also helps in the interrupt and the error handling process. Okay, so if some errors will be generated at the runtime by some certain specific applications or by some specific programs, so these type of errors, they can be handled by the kernel. Okay, and the kernel will responsible for organization of the transfer of data from one part of the machine to another part. That means if you want to execute some particular process, okay, so for the execution of that process, it has to be reside inside the processor. Okay, so to fetch the data from the hard disk drive to the processor, the these type of tasks, that means when we are moving the data from one place to another place, so this transfer of the data, it can be also managed by the kernel of the Unix operating system. Okay, and the kernel will also accept the instructions in the form of the commands from the shell, and it will execute them. Okay, and the last one is that enforcing the access permissions. Okay, that means the kernel will allow the access to the users, that the user can only read a file or they can modify the file. Okay, as we have discussed in the last lecture, that there are some type of security has been provided by the Unix operating system. Okay, like which particular person they will going to access the files, like we have given the permission to a particular user, we have given the permission to a group of the users, or we have given the permission to all the users of this particular systems. Okay, so like that, these all are the functions they can be performed by the kernel of the Unix operating system. Okay, now next we have the Unix shell. So the Unix shell is basically act as a communication bridge between the kernel and the user. Okay, so the shell is basically the command interpreter that interact directly with the user. Okay, so how it can interact with the user? The shell will take the commands from the user and it will carry them out one at a time. So here the shell will basically provides the arrangement for the kernels, so that it will execute the commands. Okay, so how the shell will work? It will basically forms the layer, okay, above the kernel, and it will hide it from the users. Okay, so it will interact with the kernels by just passing the commands and the arguments and the parameters to the kernel, and on behalf of that the kernel will load the programs and the commands to run. Okay, so when a command that will be given as an input with the help of the keyboards, so what the shell will come, the shell will examine the command and the shell will simplify it. Okay, and after that it will communicate with the kernel to see that the command is executed or not. So there are different functionalities of the shell that will be given here. The first one is the file opening. Okay, so if we want to open a particular file, so what we can do, we can use some commands. Okay, that we will give in the shell, and after that we can easily open the particular file on the systems. The shell is also used for file writing. That means we can write some files on the particular systems or in the hardwares. With the help of the shell we can execute our programs. Okay, if we want to end a particular process or we want to terminate a process, then we can terminate it with the help of the programs. We will write some programs inside the shell, and we will terminate them. Okay. We can also get some information about the time and the date with the help of the shell commands. Okay, so we will discuss all these commands in the later classes or in the later lectures. So with the one more thing, there are different type of shells. Okay, like we have the Bourne shell, we have the she shell, corn shell, bash shell. So these are the shells, the types of the shell that will be used in the Unix operating system. Okay, now the next is the command and the utilities. Okay, so the some of the major commands that we will use in the Unix system, uh, like we have the sh. Okay, so the command and utilities, they will basically used in the Unix operating systems. Okay, to communicate with the shell and to perform some basic operations. Okay, so utilities are the basically the Unix commands that we will use in the Unix operating systems. Like we have to create a directory. So for that we will use the command that is your mkdir. Okay, we have the grep command that will be used in the Unix operating systems. Okay, so like that we have lot of commands that we will use in the Unix operating system, and these all commands are basically known as the utilities. Okay, so in Unix operating system we also have the commands that will be used for the general applications, like the formatting of the document, like typesetting of the documents. Okay, and the Unix operating system, it will also provide the facility for producing the device independent vector plots in the Unix operating systems. Okay, and the one more thing, we have the application programs. Okay, so the application programs or the utilities, okay, they all will be executed through the shell, and the user can execute any number of utility and application programs in the case of the Unix operating systems. Okay, so various application programs like word processor, spreadsheets. Okay, so database management systems, they all have to be installed inside the operating system to execute with the users. Okay, now next we have the directories. Okay, so the directories that we are going to use in the Unix file system, okay, they have some name. The directories will have their path as we have discussed in the case of the Unix operating system. Okay, these files and the directories, they will be basically uh, stored in a hierarchical manner. Okay, just like a tree structure. Okay, so in the case of the Unix operating system, the files they can be organized into the tree structure, and the directories we are going, they have some path name. Okay, and these path name will consist of basically the file names that will be separated by a slash. Okay, so like we have some file that will be stored in our D drive, and inside the D drive we have another folder that is your Unix file system, and inside that folder we have another one. We have created the structure of the Unix operating system. Okay, so this will create a path, that means D, then inside D we have the Unix system, and inside the Unix system we have the Unix structure. Okay, so like that we can create the path in the case of the Unix operating system. Okay, so in that case the first slash, that is your D, it will indicate the root of the directory. Okay, or sometimes it is also known as the root directory. Okay, and the next elements that we have, they are called as the subdirectory of the root. Okay, so in this way the path of the directories, they can be defined in the Unix operating systems. Okay, and so what type of operations that we can perform on these directories, they will be like we can rename the directories, we can delete the directories. Okay, so like these type of operations, they can be performed on the directories, and for that we can use the commands. Okay, we can use the utilities to perform these type of operations. The next thing is your file systems. Okay, so file systems is basically, it will be organized as a tree which has a root node. Okay, and these files, they will contain the data. Okay, and the data may be in the form of the text, or they will contain some programs or the set of instructions. Okay, so these files are basically stored inside the directories. Okay, and the files does not allow to store the other data files into them. So how these files they can be accessed? Okay, so we will use the system calls for the basic file implementation, or for the manipulation of the files, like if we want to create a file, we want to open a file. Okay, and we can also write some data into these files. Okay, we can truncate these files. These are the some of the operations that we can perform on the files that will be present inside the Unix operating systems. Okay, so now, so these are the some of the assignment questions that you have to solve, and this is a learning of outcomes of the today's lecture. The first thing is that you will get the basic knowledge about the Unix system architecture and the features of the Unix architecture. Okay, you will also understand the Unix components like hardware, what is the functionalities of the kernel, shell, okay, and what are the utilities. So these are the some of the outcomes of the today's lecture, and these are some of the reference book that can be used by students for the further reading of the subjects. And so okay, so these will the learning outcomes, and these are the some of the reference books that will be given here for further reading of the subject. So now we are going to end the today's session here. Thank you.